We're in trouble in America. We're losing our moral bearings. We're losing our respect for the rule of law. And you look around America today and things are bad and they're getting worse. We're broke. We're dispirited. We're scared. We've been moving closer and closer to socialism, further away from God, the Constitution, doing what's right in our own eyes, and all the while not noticing that it's killing us. It's killing our nation.
Just beginning.
Americans tend to be too comfortable, slowly but surely turning their backs on the sacrifices their forefathers made for liberty. Why is that? As bad as it is, as horrible as it seems, as unlikely as it appears that we can escape, what we're going through can actually be a vitally necessary experience for us, and one that is ultimately very healthy and liberating for this country. The truth needs to be told in all the dark places, because it's the truth that sets us free.
Welcome. It's WorldNetDaily Live. We are on the air December 13th, Friday the 13th, 2024, and a veil of deception is what we're going to be diving into today. Everything from these UFO, drones, whatever is flying over the coast of and over the land of New Jersey. Welcome, everybody. It is great to see you. It is the Friday show. I love a good Friday show. Josh Turnbow, where is he?
What's up, everybody? Hey, everybody.
That's right. Thank God it's
Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. And yeah, so we're going to get into it, Josh. I mean, these UFOs or the drones or whatever, the J6 report came out that said that there definitely were at least 26 confidential human sources, aka spies.
Yeah. Of course there were. Of course there were.
Of course, we knew that. We knew that. They just wouldn't confess to it. Also, the Biden pardons. We knew that there were going to be a lot of pardons coming. I don't know if there's anybody like any huge big names that we would recognize at this moment, but there's certainly some crimes that are like wild to be pardoned for. We'll get right into that. But first, everybody, Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is the only Christian conservative. That's right. It is the only Christian conservative wireless company out there, and you need to scan that QR code. It'll drive you right to patriotmobile.com/WNDPatriot, and that is where you can sign up and move yourself off of those legacy wireless networks that do nothing but forward the woke agenda. I mean, it's just
steal your data,
and they steal your data and all that stuff. Patriot Mobile will allow you to mobilize yourself in a world of freedom.
Oh, look at that!
I'm trying to.
Did you write that for them, Matt?
No, I don't know.
They should probably use that.
I should just read the copy and stay with
Mobilize yourself. Hey, that's pretty good, man.
All right, it'll work.
All right,
so patriotmobile.com/WNDPatriot. Please use the promo code when you go over there to sign up, WNDPatriot, because it helps out the show here.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into this because this is wild. I mean, I'm watching some of this footage, and again, I got to tell you, Josh, I'm one of those guys that when I see something on the internet, I'm always like, wow, that's really cool. How old is that footage? Is that yesterday or was that 5 years ago? And also, is it even real? But at this point, there's been so many reports of something flying over New Jersey that that you kind of got to watch all this and figure out what it is. And we've been paying attention to this stuff this week, but let's roll this first clip here of what people have been seeing. And Josh, this is time-lapse footage, right? This is because I'm telling you right now.
This is time-lapse, and that sound is cars on a highway. So the claim is that to me this looks like air traffic, but they're saying that these are car-sized objects moving through the night sky. So on this one, Matt, I'm gonna say that those could literally be airplanes we'd never know.
Right. Right.
Most
But I
people
mean, they are kind of moving and then disappearing. I mean, why do
Right.
they disappear like that? Is it just because the light moves, the light shifts?
Okay, so like, here's the thing.
Look at that.
Yeah, I know, it's a trip, and this is a long video. Also, it
Yeah.
sounds like a babbling brook might be in the background. So, if it's a plane, the light can disappear as it moves at the wrong angle away from you.
Sure.
Now, I want people to know, me, I if you've watched the show at all, I love the weird stuff. I really love it, right? Like I'm all about it. But there's something like just not right about this. I classify it. There's the orbs, and then there's the objects with flashing lights in New Jersey. So there's obviously a difference between the two. So on today's show, I think we're going to have some really good evidence to get to the bottom of what at least one of them are, the flashing lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one video where someone was at an airport or just outside the airport, and there was a plane landing, and then there was these lights in the distance that were kind of lined up, and they're like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "They're planes landing."
Yeah,
like they're in formation, getting ready to land, and it felt like everybody now is looking up into the sky, not knowing that we invented airplanes 100 years ago.
I remember living in Los Angeles. There would be times at night, if you were at the right angle, it would look like there were just orbs sitting, not moving, that were heading to the east. And what that was is the planes lined up. They line up a mile apart.
Sure.
All the way out to the desert, 30 miles out. They're lined up, ready to land. But if you just kind of even look away for a minute, they trade places, but it just looks like the orb doesn't move.
Right.
And, there must be a level of hysteria behind this. Like you said, right? Like people are like, I've seen some of the images. They're clearly planes landing, and some are maybe not. So we're going to get into it.
Yeah, and there's a pilot in Oregon. Now, pilots see a lot of strange things all the time, and they can kind of differentiate between what they see. But let's listen to this pilot talk about what he saw with strange lights in the sky.
Red in color, moving at extreme speeds. I don't even know how to describe how fast he's moving.
You are cleared to maneuver as necessary, left and right, to avoid the UFO out there.
This is Joe communicating with air traffic control while he was piloting that live flight call to the North Bend, Coos Bay area. And the UFO in question, if you look closely on your screen, that little red dot that floats in and out of the video.
That was the one that was at our altitude that would come up to us and sit for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then it would go back out over the ocean, over the horizon.
He and his crew witnessed this mysterious object continue this odd behavior from more than 20 miles away for about 20 minutes total. This came after a United Airlines flight reported seeing similar mysterious objects zipping through the sky, ranging between 30,000 and 50,000 feet in altitude.
We're seeing 3 or 4 targets. They're all altitudes, up and down. It's pretty crazy.
One researcher suggests it's a light bouncing off a Starlink satellite over the Pacific Ocean, catching the eye of pilots, something that's reportedly happened before. But Joe says this ain't that.
I don't think Starlink, like I said, satellites don't typically change directions. But then again, I could be wrong, but I honestly don't think it was. I've never seen a satellite move like that.
I reached out to the Federal Aviation Administration to see if they can confirm this UFO sighting. They kept it short and sweet, saying a pilot saw unidentified lights. The good news is it's not believed Joe or his crew were in any danger as they continued to fly down to Coos Bay and back up to their station in Aurora. But the mysterious...
Well, I mean, they weren't in any danger because they landed. I mean, we know it's a little bit... Anyway, I could criticize local news.
It's the news.
Yeah.
The local news. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very short. What was what were those line? The line.
The line
like tracers or something.
That was Starlink.
Oh, that was Starlink.
Yeah. So you can see in the right condition, you can see Starlink above you, depending on where you are. It looks like a train of lights.
Yeah.
That wraps over you. Comes up over the horizon and down.
Right.
So. I feel like, Matt, there is, like never before, more people are seeing things, but also like pilots, everybody's got a phone. Everybody's got a crappy image that they want to share from their phone.
That's what really bothers me, Josh.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
nobody has an iPhone 16 at the right moment to like shoot up there and get this like super 12K footage. It's always
there's some limited stuff that's interesting, but it does feel like a little bit of a hysteria, but it's not the normal UFO stuff either. It's like, I saw it had red blinking lights. Oh, good. This UFO is up to FAA code.
Yeah. You're right. They're flying at the right level. That's why to me, it's gotta be drones, because if it wasn't, Josh, we'd be doing something like this,
For those of you who don't know, Matt, what is that?
That is
Close Encounters.
That's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Yeah, that's the music.
Overdue to watch that again.
I mean, fantastic.
That's how they communicate with it. And funny enough, so that movie was inspired by Jacques Vallée, who is to this day like the most prominent researcher. Back then, he was doing scientific analysis to capture these stories of sightings. And do you know what Jacques Vallée believes now, Matt?
Tell me.
He believes that they are dimensional spiritual beings that are evil.
There we go.
The generic term would be demons. So that's what he thinks these are now. He's moved away from the gray space aliens. Now, that's not to say the blinking light drones are this. That's just what he believes the UFO phenomenon is.
Yeah, no, I think these are drones. I mean, I think there's people out there with drones, whether they're foreign entities. I mean, the administration right now, they don't even know. I mean, Charlie Kirk says on X, here, let's throw that up, about this being not Iranian or U.S. military, but could be something. Let's watch it.
Jen.
Sabrina, can you tell me what the Pentagon is doing to address this issue of drone sightings over New Jersey? It's near sensitive installations. The FBI is involved. What is the Pentagon doing?
Sure. So at this time, aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Can you rule out that these are American drones or U.S. military drones?
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
Representative Jeff Van Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
What is going on? Why would where would he get that information? I mean, we played that clip a couple days ago.
It's so dumb. I don't really understand the congressman guy. Like, he seems like, one of these flacks that they'll tap when they need, like, oh, hey, congressman, we can let you can get airtime if you tell them that there was a mothership that just happened to look like a 1970s fishing boat, right, from Iran. And by the way, that's always out there, and they have been maybe launching drones. Matt, do you know how fast that thing would be sunk to the ocean floor if things were taking off from that point? I mean, dude, like,
because she said this was the local authorities were investigating this. The government is not involved in any of this whatsoever.
My drone, Matt, that I have that I use for like camera work and stuff, it won't even take off and go above 200 feet without permissions. You know what I mean? Like, and if I do try to break that permission, it's seen by the local radar, like, easily. Mm-hmm. They see exactly. Oh, look, that flight number, that number on that drone is flying around illegally, and there's hell to pay.
They'll find you.
Trust me.
Yeah, they'll find you.
So this doesn't add up. This doesn't pass the stink test.
It doesn't, and I don't know if they're trying. Again, they're trying. I don't know if a lot. There's there's the distinction that we have to make between what videos we're seeing, but then also the fact that there are things that are up in the sky that people don't know, or at least they're not admitting to knowing what they are and who's controlling them.
Totally.
But there is some fun speculation out there. We have this video here that was posted on X and Instagram and TikTok or wherever it was posted. But there is this video here says it's not aliens and the government is lying to us once again. And this person here uncovers, of course, looks in the files and uncovers different government programs that could be behind what we're seeing. So let's take a look at this.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey? That's right. It's crazy going on in New Jersey.
These are not U.S. military drones. So since they won't tell you, I'll have to. DPA Title III. The DPA was revived under Trump to ensure that things like drones, technology, and medical supplies were being produced in the U.S. so that we could move away from Chinese-produced technology. This led to 2 Department of Defense drone programs: the Blue UAS, Unmanned Aircraft System, and the Replicator Program. It also led to the Drone Infrastructure Inspection Grant Act, which allotted $200 million, half to creating drone infrastructure and half to training people in drones. And it just so happens that in 2023, an agreement was made which established a testing corridor between New Jersey and Delaware to allow safe trials of these new technologies, specifically to see how these could work in real-life scenarios. Okay, so right here we see a map of where all the drones have been spotted. And here is a map of all the military bases in New Jersey. Here's some examples of some of the drones that could be flying over this area. Could have a wingspan of 4 meters, 7 meters, which is about 22 feet, goes along with some of the claims that people have been making. Now, as we can see, the designated corridor for the drone testing is in South Jersey, so let's explore maybe some of the reasons that we might be seeing them in North Jersey. We see that they've been seen over the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, but we know that during his presidency, he spent 104 days at the golf course. And it's already been stated that the Replicator program has a goal to field thousands of drones by August 2025. Okay, so what are these drones doing? One might be testing counter-drone systems, ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, AI navigation development. This is why we're seeing it over urban and suburban areas. Okay, so why is the government acting like they don't know what's going on? Well, one, we know the government is so compartmentalized, and the left hand never knows what the right hand is doing, and that federal, local, and military don't communicate with each other at all. We also know that this is companies, private sector behind this, which is being funded by the DoD, which is why they're saying it's not the government. Because technically there's 30 contracts and over 50 subcontracts, including Anduril Industries and General Atomics, as well as Skydio. Now, of course, we know why the media is playing it up. The election is over and they have to keep the lights on, so let's talk about aliens. But the fact that the government continues to deny it could be because they enjoy having an invisible threat. They love to blame the foreign adversaries. But if it was actually a foreign country, they would not be allowed to fly that low. It would justify surveillance, profit from fear, and of course it could be a distraction. There's also been a lot of emphasis on government efficiency coming from Elon Musk. He has endorsed drone warfare over manned fighter jets, saying they're more cost-effective, less human casualty, and the ability to maneuver and accelerate in a way that human pilots could never. So trust me, I want this to be aliens more than you do, okay? But shocker, the government is lying to you once again.
All right, she
it's a great video.
Yeah, she did a good job there. She wants it to be aliens because that'll be much more.
Yeah. I want to show you an image real quick, Matt, here. This one. Okay, so this, people, I'm really into this stuff. You know that probably by now. But I want to show you this, and I'm going to show you this thing. So these are these are pretty large, these drones. And I'll show you another one here in a second. But this is a VTOL drone. Okay, so this is a little smaller version. This is a vertical takeoff and landing. This is the kind of thing that would be transiting in this drone corridor that person was it MK what, guys? What's her account?
MK or JK Ultra.
JK Ultra. Okay, but I'm going to show you the big daddy version. Is, let's see, I'm going to show you here. Boom. Okay, so this thing is, can you see it? Did I raise the image here?
No. We see a headline.
Josh, let me do it.
Okay, so this thing looks wacky, and it's large. Kira's going to bring it up, but it's a vertical takeoff and landing vehicle, right? And it's a big boy. And this thing, you don't want it to fall out of the air, but it would have to have all the proper FAA lighting and all that stuff on it.
Well, we still can't see the image, just the thing. But
there it is. You see that?
Okay, so how big is that? What are we talking? Like a car size? Is that when they're saying there's a car size?
Size of a car. Yeah. So that's a 7-meter wingspan right there, right? That thing's pretty big.
Okay.
And this is in its transformation mode, right? So its wings fold down as it starts to approach its landing area, which makes it have like hover capability. This is gonna be what I'm gonna guess. Okay, could be totally wrong, y'all. This is what it's gonna end up being. It's gonna be something like this because it can change shape and then zoom away and hover.
Yeah.
And when it hovers, it looks really weird.
Well, the other thing is that they seem to only be doing this stuff at night, right?
Yes.
Which I mean, I would say that's actually even less or more noticeable because at night, something shiny in the sky usually does catch people's attention, and during the day, people are walking around working, not really looking up at the sky, and so that I don't know, that's just an interesting thing that just popped in my brain, I think, but neither here nor there. But the thing I want to point out though about these is they said there were reports that some of these things fell out of the sky. Yeah. And they had to corner off, say 300, feet or 300 yards out of the area or something. And there were reports. Now, I don't know if any of that's true. We haven't seen any of that footage yet. But again,
Matt, this thing here, okay.
Yeah.
It's super sketchy in its transformation phase where it goes to vertical takeoff and landing. It can literally fall out of the sky in that phase, right? So, I mean, I'm not saying it's this for sure, but that is indicative of what would happen to a vehicle. Why would a plane fall out of the sky? Planes don't, like a forward moving aircraft doesn't usually fall out of the sky, but this thing is super sketchy. When it goes into this mode, it would stop in the middle of the air and then all of a sudden it just drop.
Right.
So who knows? But I mean, this is my pick for what's going on. Something like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, again, I have no idea. When I'm thinking there's drones in the sky, I'm thinking of these, commercial things that you see at, Costco for like, $500 or something. But that's not what these things are. If this is what people are seeing and they're seeing it from miles away, it has to be something that large.
Yeah.
And for that congressman to come out and say it was an Iranian mothership.
That's
And also the uproar over this, when compared to the Chinese weather balloon thing that happened a year or so ago, that was floating over the United States, like everybody was up in arms over a weather balloon that was launched by China. But here we have all of this stuff going on, and I don't know. I mean, who is it? Josh Hawley, Senator Josh Hawley. Here we have a clip of him saying that if they don't know what's going on here,
Matt, real quick. You just brought up a really good point, dude. You remember that during the balloon thing, the government let the UFO thing they let that take the narrative, so they were less embarrassed about the Chinese balloon. The first one was a Chinese balloon, but then there was like unidentified aircraft over the Montana nuclear range. They let it happen. They use it as a tool. Sorry, back to Josh Hawley.
Yeah, no, that I'm glad you mentioned that again, because it just makes me think ahead. Like, we're in this 40-day window before Trump takes over, right?
Yeah.
If our adversaries are like, we got to go now, we got to gather as much intel as we can now, because we know that Trump's going to turn on the defenses. He's going to turn on so many different things, especially when it comes to Space Force. Like, I mean, this is an area where I think Space Force would be our go-to agency to talk to about what's going on in our space, Air Force, Space Force. And if it is Iranian or Chinese or some sort of foreign adversary that's like, just launch these things over, get as much intel as we can as possible now, and then we're out of here. And the administration's like, oh, we don't know what to do, but we're out of here in about a month. So maybe we could just feign ignorance on this. So yeah, let's watch Josh Hawley call him out.
Yeah, you can't tell me that we don't know what that is. I just think they're not being honest with us. I think that if we don't know, if our government really has no idea, then they're even more incompetent than I thought. We've got to get to the bottom of this, and they need to level with the American people about what's going on. It's crazy.
Matt, I just had another thought. So, look, this is the outgoing administration, and we know that in some respects they kind of serve our defense industry, the defense industrial complex. Dude, if they are greenlighting all these programs as like get the contracts signed as fast as they can with, whoever it may be, is it Atomics, US Atomics, they creates the Predator drone. It would be indicative of why we see this rapid operation taking place, because once the new administration's in place, they can really upset all of these contracts. So I don't know. And Josh Hawley he knows something he's not saying.
Perhaps
is my take.
Perhaps. Yeah. He, you would hope that congressmen and senators and stuff are not as blind to, or not blind, but not so much in the dark as we all are out here in the real world. That being said, though, I think, do we have breaking news here? I think we have a clip. We actually have found out who is controlling these drones. We have a photograph of people controlling these drones late last night. There it is.
It's just the boys.
We knew it all along. I
did hear somebody in the commentary like, I think Elon's involved. And I'm like, what the hell has Elon got to do with anything?
We do a little trolling. It's called we do a little trolling.
Well, until we figure it out, folks, we gotta laugh. Otherwise we'll cry and huddle down in fear. So real quick, we mentioned a drone. We have these images here. New Jersey, they put out a warning here. This is their bulletin. They put out a warning that if a drone is down, to evacuate. And then of course, this is for when you encounter a downed UAV, and that's an unmanned aircraft vehicle. Air vehicle. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So here are the steps if you're in New Jersey. This was the Division of Fire Safety. And then there's apparently a whistleblower here. This guy. Now, I know who is operating the drones. Again, this is posted on the internet. Does this person really know? But what does it say here? I happen to know that there are additional full lockout drills scheduled to take place between now and Christmas Eve. Okay, so they're saying this is all part of some sort of military drill that's being conducted by Space Force. So, I wouldn't be surprised by this. There were reports during I don't know if it was 2019 or 2020. There were helicopters, Black Hawk helicopters flying through cities and doing missions. And they were just like, what was that? And you saw this wild footage of people rappelling in the middle of a giant city like Los Angeles or something. And we were never told what that was, but they were drills. You just say, okay, the military's doing something. So at some point, you just got to say, when it comes to testing out military and defense weapons and whatever they are, reconnaissance, whatever it is, that you can only do so much in the middle of the desert when nothing is around.
That's a good point. That's usually where they test these things.
Yeah, you got to go into an urban area and see if the stuff really works. So
let's see if they change their mind after this, since people are literally shooting at them.
Yeah, that's always the case. That's always the case. Okay, before we go to the J6, though, I want to make sure that people are aware of the Z-Stack over at Zelenko. Let's throw that up if we have that.
Get your Z-Stack.
Get your Z-Stack. It's cold and flu season, and the best thing to do is not just try and alleviate the symptoms that you're being that are happening, but you really have to get to the heart of the matter and increase boost your immune system. And Dr. Zelenko, who was a godsend during the COVID pandemic era, just a few years ago, really brought awareness to zinc, quercetin, and sort of the Zelenko protocol here. We're not doctors, but we do recommend that you talk to your physician and go head over to the Zelenko protocol, scan the QR code, hit the link in the description. You get 5% off if you use the code WND. You get yourself, the Z Shield, the Z Night for nighttime, help you sleep, and really get you prepared to take on the flu season. And it's probably something that you could use all year round. So head over there and check it out. Thank you for that. All right.
Awesome.
Good.
Thank you, Dr. Zelenko.
Yeah. Rest in peace, my friend. Rest in peace.
Yes.
So here it is. Over at WND, we've got this up, WND.com. WorldNetDaily has the article. The Horowitz, this is the Inspector General's report, confirms that the DOJ, Josh, DOJ actually did have 26 undercover agents on duty. Now, at January 6th. I guess you could parse out whether they were literally undercover agents, whether they were literally just confidential human sources. That being said, they were all being paid apparently or under the control of the DOJ or the FBI to provide information about what was going on. And they say that at least, is it 7 or 6 of them were inside the Capitol?
Yeah, they went inside.
Inside. Yeah.
Matt, this is like, okay, a confidential human source can be anything, but oftentimes it is them calling. They know who's there. They know who's there, like a record or who's on tough, having a hard time. They'll just call them directly and say, "This is the FBI. We know who you are. We need you to be a source for us. We'll pay you." And so, like as an example, I did this film American Standoff, and this is in 2016. We were in Oregon. And there was a protest led by Ammon Bundy, and they took over essentially this like nature station in the middle of nowhere. Matt, there were 30 people left that were holdouts from the feds. Okay. It turned out that 15 were confidential sources. Okay.
Wow.
Half of the people there were confidential sources. How did that happen? They just called them and said, "You need to work for us now." They had nothing else and that going on in their life. They said yes. Now, I want to know if this extends to like actual provocateurs, right? So what's the guy's name? Ray Epps.
Ray Epps. Yep.
Dude.
Yep. Yeah. Is he one of the 26? That is a great question, Josh. Yep.
Yeah. And he may be even in like a more confidential layer that the FBI has all kinds of ways to categorize all this stuff and say like, he's not even on the books in a certain way. Yeah.
But he was an instigator. See, I could understand if you know that there's going to, because we knew January 6th. I mean, the president said, "Hey, come January 6th. It's gonna be a big deal." He had the speech there. Yep. So I could understand that you would have undercover law enforcement out there to pay attention, to listen, and to stop and notice, say something from a law enforcement perspective. That's a smart thing to do, to have undercover people out there listening. But when you're talking about like, and we saw, I don't know if we have some of these clips, but we saw senators and congressmen ask, were there confidential human sources or undercover agents dressed as Trump supporters instigating, right? And that's what Ray Epps looked like. He looked like he was wearing a Trump style hat and he was instigating people. And so, yeah, I'd like to know if that is the next big question. Is Ray Epps among these 26?
I think, Matt, that we're going to find out as the new administration comes in. I think we're going to get to the bottom of what this was. I think they had a plan in place. That plan was pretty elaborate. It even included a pipe bomb that was placed, which they've never gotten to the bottom of to this day. Meanwhile, they geo-tracked people that were even just there on the Capitol grounds. They eventually geo-tracked them and found them, but they can't find a pipe bomb placed conveniently. We're going to find out that this was used as an operation largely to, arrest people, create fear. And this is the most anti-American thing, and we need to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thomas Massey, who's been all over this as well, he has confronted AG Garland over this over the last few years, and he posted this little compilation to his X account yesterday. Let's watch it.
Okay, I was hoping today to give you an opportunity to put to rest the concerns that people have that there were federal agents or assets of the federal government present on January 5th and January 6th. Can you tell us, without talking about particular incidents or particular videos, how many agents or assets of the federal government were present on January 6th, whether they agitated to go into the Capitol, and if any of them did?
So I'm not going to violate this norm of the rule of law. I'm not going to comment on an investigation that's ongoing.
On that video, that was your answer to a question to me 2 years ago. When I said how many agents or assets of the government were present on January 5th and January 6th and agitating in the crowd to go into the Capitol, and how many went into the Capitol. Can you answer that now?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Oh, last time, you don't know how many there were, or there were none?
I don't know the answer to either of those questions. If there were any, I don't know how many. I don't know whether there are any.
I think you may have just perjured yourself that you don't know that there were any. You want to say that again, that you don't know that there were any?
I have no personal knowledge of this matter. I think what I said last time.
You've had 2 years to find out.
It's so true. You've had 2 years. You know what these people are going to ask you when you sit down.
They just lie. That's all they do. They just lie.
But it's not just a lie. There's zero accountability. I mean, it feels like the only accountability is when we get to go in and vote for a new president, and hopefully that person wins. But up until this point, when they're clearly lying, you are clearly lying. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible, Josh.
Go ahead. Producer, what you got, Karen?
I'm just going to chime in real fast. What's funny is that Garland says, I can't reveal any of this information during an active investigation. What are we witnessing right now with the New York shooter? Within minutes of things in an active investigation, they're releasing video, footage, all kinds of information. When they want information out, they put it out.
That's very true. It's very true. When they want it out, they want it out. That's why the reckoning is coming. If we can just get to January 20, if we can just get there and Trump gets sworn in and Kash Patel becomes FBI director and Pam Bondi Pam Bondi would be who would head the DOJ? Do we know yet? Who is the DOJ person?
Oh, have we confirmed that?
Well, the AG is the head of the DOJ, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Pam Bondi. So it would be Pam Bondi would be the Garland. She would take over the Garland position here, and Kash Patel would take over Christopher Wray, who resigned. Fascinating that he resigns right as this report comes out. I mean, the rats are they're running away, man. As the ship sinks here.
But dude, like I've heard this said by some of the folks that are supposed to be in the administration. Some of them are already being chosen. You can't let this slide. They have to be prosecuted. They can't lie and prosecute against people that are innocent. The law would suggest that when that happens, they themselves deserve prosecution. That's the fair thing to do.
Yeah.
And so, like, these guys we should not go easy on them. This isn't revenge. This is what you do when lawmakers or officials break the law. They should pay the price. We would pay the price for that.
Absolutely.
And they threw people in jail for perjury or supposed perjury to Congress. Steve Bannon, for instance, he went to jail for less,
Well, not even, because they said, you need to come talk to us. And he said, no, I'm not talking to you. And so they threw him in jail. So he didn't even get a chance to lie.
Right.
But you're right. And the same thing with Peter Navarro, and the idea, and it just seems to me like, oh, how could you put Merrick Garland in jail? And I go,
pretty easily.
Pretty easily when you watch stuff like that. It's absolutely, even going back, like Lois Lerner. Remember Lois Lerner and the targeting the Tea Party ladies back in the Obama days. Oh boy. Okay. Well, speaking of pardons and clemency and all that stuff, Joe Biden announced a big whopping swath of pardons and clemency. We have it over there at WorldNetDaily.com. 39 more pardons and commutations for nearly 1,500 people. I hear most of those those 1,500 people were people that were let out of jail because of COVID, and so they were like nonviolent, small drug offenders, perhaps, and that sort of thing. But some of the pardons are a bit more interesting to look at here. Over on X,
Suspect.
Suspect. This is what was dug up over there. One of these folks was convicted for possession of child pornography, and the other two were apparently spies for China. So, I repeat that, for China. This is Joe Biden pardoning Chinese nationals. And you see the bottom one there. Possession of child pornography was the offense. Sentenced in 22. Is this the
that's
offender
him
there?
Yeah. I have a really weird take on this.
47,000.
Yeah. I have a weird take on this. People probably won't like. Okay. I apologize ahead of time. This absolutely looks like spy trade-off to me. We don't see, usually what happens when they pardon people like this, there's a trade going on somewhere that we don't know about. Also, and I'm not saying this isn't in every case, but even Tucker Carlson said that everyone in DC is afraid that the intel agencies will put child porn on their computers.
Mm-hmm.
It is the easiest sabotage trick now. You just hit the transmit button, and it's genius because in society, it's the one that we will not stand for it, right?
Right.
And even then you have to go like, well, this guy's just filthy, but we should not forget that this is the favorite tool now being used. We know it is because, Tucker's not revealing what he knows, but it is a real thing. It's essentially a cyber tactic.
Yeah. Josh, just think about it. If you walk around with one of the phones that has AirDrop, and it's open, you're like, oh yeah, I'll let anybody send me something, or you don't even know it's on. I mean, can you imagine all of a sudden somebody sending you airdrop photos that shouldn't be on your phone.
Yeah.
And then you see them. And then what does your phone do? It automatically goes to your cloud. It goes to your laptop. It goes everywhere. And then you're like, oh, I deleted it off my phone, but it didn't delete here. It didn't delete there. And the next thing you know, they're looking at some old laptop that's sitting in the back, that was connected, and you're screwed. And so it really makes you wonder, man.
And this is not, Biden's son kind of thing where he's literally smoking a crack pipe on video. Okay. This is actually a tactic. And, there's creeps in the world. There's too many creeps in the world that do this stuff.
Yes.
But like when you just happen to be a Chinese spy and they nab you on this.
Yeah. I would think that a spy
gotta look at it.
Yeah. I would think that a spy would probably be a little bit more careful. If you were a professional spy, let's put it that way. If you're a pro, right?
Yeah, this guy was placed, and they probably couldn't get him on anything else, and they nabbed him.
That's why we like looking at these stories. We get to
we love it.
We get to allow us to it allows us to kind of think beyond the headline a little bit.
And we need to do that now, right? The child porn thing is designed to have people repulsed,
right?
And automatically go, oh, dirtbag. It's designed that way. You just need to carefully look at it. Remember, it's like when they would say like threat to democracy, and there was a whole bunch of the population just, oh my gosh, it's a threat to democracy. Be careful because this is a tactic. That's all I'm saying. That let's not be psyoped here, people.
Let's not, but just in case you are, and you need, I don't know, this is a terrible segue, but over at Uncharted Supply Company, you need, sometimes I hit and sometimes I miss.
Yeah.
That's okay. But you need the 72 survival system. Every major disaster that can happen, almost every disaster that happens, 95% of them, are situations that can be resolved within 72 hours, which is good because you don't want it to go on forever. But 72 hours is still a long time. 3 days without supplies or without having a survival system on hand can be rough. So scan the QR code. Do we still have the image of what's inside these bad boys? Yeah, there it is. You get yourself one of these things, and it's chock full of everything that you would need hopefully the bare minimum to get you through 72 hours. And this is something that you can get multiple of for your family members. You can keep one in your car, one in your home, one in your RV, one in a underground bunker somewhere, or you can hike out into your safe space woods and bury it in the ground. I mean, why not, right? But scan the QR code, hit the link in the description, and it'll take you right there to Uncharted Supply so you can get one for yourself. So please do that. Very good. All right. We talked about this a while ago, or a couple days ago, I think it was, Trump being named Time Man of the Year or Person of the Year, I guess we call it now, right?
Yeah.
Here's the cover, Josh. We talked about the cover from 2016 before. Do we have that to compare? What do you think of this shot? Though this is a great shot of Trump.
It's a beautiful photo. I did notice that this photographer, I think it's Platon, they call him, is a Brit. He also did the famous picture of Putin with the same background, by the way.
Interesting.
It's a close-up image, but overall, this is a beautiful image. There's another one he got, like a black and white of Trump kissing the standing flag, which I would like to. I don't know if we have that, but I'm gonna find that. Okay, here we go. We got a video apparently.
Yeah, behind the scenes video. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Photoshop. Yeah, flash. You are looking at a legend in the flesh.
That was quick.
It's great, man.
Yeah, those are great photos. Great spread on the president.
Yeah, and remember we talked about like the previous one. It was a down angle. He's half lit. This is a low angle, which makes someone feel powerful and bigger. Mm-hmm. The light is even on Trump's face. It's a great photo. I mean, are we back, Matt? Are we back? I mean,
it's feeling like it. Yeah. Here it was in 2016. Yeah,
right. So we're above his eye line. These are all things that photographers know, right? We're above his eye line. He's half lit, which means we don't understand half of him, even the headline, right? Person of the Year. And then he's in a chair. We don't really understand that. That's meant to be like an opulent chair, right? He's a rich guy.
Right.
He's a rich guy turning to look back at the help because his drink hasn't arrived. And then in the new image,
and he's got the horns. The M behind his head. He's got horns.
Yes, the horns, Matt. You notice that? It's clever. They kept the red time imaging, and in the new one,
right,
they kept it clear and behind him.
Yep.
And it's a great image. The colors are generally neutral. They're a little colder. But man, it's awesome.
Good observations there. And I think when you ask, are we back? I mean, I'm so apprehensive. I feel like I'm scarred. It's like when you find that lost puppy or that dog that's all mangled, mangy, and it takes them a while to warm up to their new environment. I feel like we're in that phase. We're like, is it really safe here? Like, will
the dog, know? Matt, the beaten dog, right?
Yeah, beaten. Yeah,
there's been psyops for years and years and years, and now, it feels like we could have justice. We can have a fair portrayal of Trump in an image by Time magazine, which has just been an utter rag. It's kind of genius too, because, like forever, half the country doesn't care about Time magazine, but people will want to own, and I would include myself in this. I would want to own that as a historical. It's historical, right? It's a historical image.
You mean own that issue, own that document?
Yeah, I think it will. Giving Trump a fair and beautiful image will literally sell the magazine. Funny enough, that's the whole point.
Well, that was I mean, when you're in business to sell magazines, having that on the front, that at least, I mean, look, 70, I don't know how many millions of people, but there's 80, somewhat upwards of 80 million people that voted for him and that supported him. Right. You would think like, hey, let's make him Person of the Year and sell a lot of copies before we get shut down forever.
Yeah, it's a great move.
It is a great move. All right, very good. What was this? What you know what? I just pulled up. Yes, I pulled up 2 days ago. I pulled up the run of the show from 2 days ago. I have no idea where we are.
It's Friday, man.
It's Friday. Yes, exactly. And I don't even have that ready to go. But there was a funny clip with Zelensky here, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's this?
Thank you.
You gotta love it, man. The
so
memes.
good.
Just when you thought the memes have peaked, they're like people just come over the top with more, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I see you got something in your hand there, Josh. Is this the Kung Fu grip?
There we go. Our favorite thing.
Absolutely. You guys, the Kung Fu grip for your AR, your M4 platform here. This gives you a 12-degree straight on angle grip on your rifle here. This is from Difrico. If you scan that QR code, it'll take you right to these grips. They also have some great other products as well. But you need to have one of these, and you need to have several so that you can put them in stocking
stuffers
hung by the chimney with care. I mean, you really want to care for people? Put these in your stockings, folks.
Absolutely.
Scan the QR code, hit the link in the description, and get yourself a Kung Fu grip. What do you got, Josh?
Matt, they have a new knife over there, and I'm just thinking we need to show that to people as well.
Knives.
They have a knife they're selling that's just beautiful. If Santa's listening, I would absolutely take one of those. Absolutely.
Yes, very good. Very good. All right, folks. Well, it's a Friday show. We got to go out with a bang here. We have so many viewers. I streamed it to my ex account today. So to all my ex followers who had no idea I was doing this, welcome.
So thank you for coming.
Yeah,
it's quiet in the comments though, y'all. John Wick's not here.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, we need to get our comments up from the folks, and we did get some. We really appreciate that, guys. People laughing at some of our jokes. Sabotage of Trump's presidency was one comment that we got while we are talking about the J6 stuff. And then I'll use this opportunity to say, hey, if you're watching us, I sent the show to a friend, and he's like, I'm not on X. And first of all, I was like, why aren't you on X, dude? So I sent the Rumble link, and he watched over there, which we really like. Rumble, they don't hit us with censorship every single time we put a show out like YouTube does. Every single time YouTube hits us because we get special attention over there in the bad way, in the censorious way, but not on Rumble. And we want you to go over there and hit the green follow button. Follow us on Rumble. We really appreciate it. And back over to the Twitter again. Twitter's got everything over there, including our breaking news. Like not being on X/Twitter. I don't know how people do it. I mean, it's really the place to see all the latest breaking of all kinds. And over at WorldNetDaily.com, we cover that. It goes directly to the X account. Follow us over there. Of course, I get constant updates from our Telegram channel, and that's got a lot of crazy war footage and stuff over there. If you go over and follow us over there, we'd appreciate it. And of course, if you know the show, I'm going to say the Instagram. Do you want to know the latest? You might want to know the latest on Jay-Z.
Oh my gosh. I don't really actually want to know this stuff. I just want
a lot of people do.
Over with. I know. I don't want to know. It's like I want to know, but I don't want to know the details. There's
this idea that sin is whatever you do for sin, it's going to be shouted from the rooftops. I think it says, maybe in the Psalms, but that's happening. I mean, all this shady living that the pop culture folks did for so long.
And I didn't realize Diddy was such a frequent guest on Ellen's show.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Is Ellen, and now Ellen left the country and stuff? Is Ellen going to be I can't imagine Ellen. We all loved Ellen.
Who knows? We know the hip hop guys were having a, ain't no party like a Diddy party. And I saw that they're calling him the Diddler online now. So
rough. Oh boy. I don't know. we could go on for another hour, but I don't know if we need to do that.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for watching. We are coming up on another week until Christmas, then the New Year, and then January 6th, where they certify the vote, and then January 20th. So we're going to be here. I hope you join us and take us, come with us along that whole ride there. So to all of you out there, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Thanks.